It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020, and you are tuned into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. The Lucas Oil Late Model Series got back to racing last night at Golden Isles Speedway in Georgia. It was the first of 3 nights this week at the 4/10 mile over for the series reopening tour. 43 cars were signed in, and after going fastest in Monday night's practice session, Josh Richards was quick time in the first time trial group. Brandon Overton was fastest in the other group. Richards won the first heat. Tim McCready grabbed Heat 2 win. Brandon Overton won Heat 3, and Jimmy Owens won Heat 4. The B mains were won by Mark Whitener and Jonathan Davenport. Josh Richards started on the pole of the 40-lap main event, but it was Overton who took the lead at the start. Racing up front was really tight, though. Richards briefly took the lead on lap 9 before Overton got him back on lap 10. Besides Richards and Overton, Tim McCready was in the mix as well up front, but he made contact with a lap car that led to a flat tire at lap 23. The ensuing caution and trip to the pit to change the tire took him out of contention on the night. Overton led the feature until less than 10 laps were left when he was then under fire from Jimmy Owens. Owens had been in the top 5 all night long but made a late charge and took the top spot from Overton with only 8 laps left. Overton wasn't done yet though, and he made a bid for the lead coming to 4 to go. He and Owens made contact coming to the line, but Owens held him off and kept the lead. Meanwhile, behind the lead duo, Mason Ziegler had driven up from his 9th starting position into the top 5. He and Josh Richards made contact multiple times, battling for third, with Ziegler coming out on top there. Ziegler then caught Overton with only 2 laps left and made a very aggressive move into turn 1 to take second from Big Sexy. Those two also made contact with the big move there. At the end, though, it was Owens winning, Ziegler second with Brandon Overton third, Josh Richards fourth, and Devin Moran in fifth. Brandon Shepard, who entered the night as the points leader, finished 14th, while Tim McCready was able to fight back from that flat tire to finish 12th. The series is back in action again tonight at Golden Isles Speedway, with racing getting underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can watch live on Lucas Oil Racing TV or the Lucas Dirt Facebook page, which a lot of people were tuned into last night. Pretty neat deal that they've put that out there on the Facebook page for people to watch for free if you are not a Lucas Oil Racing TV subscriber. I also saw that they are recording this week's races and possibly next week's races to be played on MAV TV later in the season. It was a really great night of racing. The feature was definitely worth the price of admission. There was battles up front, Ziegler throwing elbows there at the end, Owens winning his 6th super late model feature of the season. It was just a really fun night. And what a year it's been so far for Jimmy Owens. He had a 4th and 3 wins at Volusia, finished 8th at the World of Outlaws race at Smoky Mountain, then comes out of the break for COVID-19 and sweeps the weekend at Magnolia and 411 Speedway, then travels to Golden Isles Speedway and wins the Lucas reopener event. So he is absolutely on fire right now. Pretty incredible stuff for Jimmy Owens here to start the season. Taking a look at the Lucas points, there were no changes in the top 5 following the night. Brandon Shepard still leads over Tim McCready with Devin Moran 3rd, Jonathan Davenport 4th, and Tyler Erb in 5th. Things at the top did get tighter, though. McCready gained 10 points and Moran gained 45 points on the lead. The top 3 are now separated by only 30 points. And I guess I misspoke. Moran and McCready are actually technically tied for second right now. So things very tight in the Lucas points. 2 more shows, like I mentioned, on tap this week at Golden Isles tonight and tomorrow night. Obviously, depending on the weather, there's a lot of rain and storms kind of happening in the southeast right now. But then the series will travel next week to East Bay Raceway Park down in Florida. So a lot more late model racing to come here in the coming days for the Lucas Oil Late Model Series. And World of Outlaws late models are going to be in action this weekend as well. So lots of stuff coming. Late last night, while the Lucas event was going on, there was big news from Eldora Speedway concerning the 2020 running of the Dirt Late Model Dream. Originally scheduled for June 4th through the 6th, track officials have pushed the event back to 2021 due to restrictions around mass gatherings in the state of Ohio. In response, though, they are working on a plan for a non-spectator race weekend to take place on those same dates, with fans being able to watch live on Flow Racing. If you have tickets for the event, have questions about that, you can find more details on the announcement and what to do with your camping passes, tickets, etc. At eldoraspeedway.com. So we'll keep an eye on that and see kind of what comes out of that event. Certainly surprising on one level to see a big event like that push back. On another level, not surprising with all of the things that are ongoing. But we'll keep up with the news on what's going on with the Dream in the coming weeks. The World of Outlaws Late Model Series announced yesterday that the upcoming weekend at Davenport Speedway, Friday and Saturday, May 29th through the 30th, will utilize both the track's quarter mile and half mile configurations for what they're calling inside-out racing. Friday night, the series will race on the smaller quarter-mile bull ring in the infield, and then Saturday, the series will shift to the bigger half-mile track. Should be an interesting challenge for the competitors. No fans will be allowed either night, but the racing can be watched live on dirtvision.com. USAC National Midgets return to racing this Friday and Saturday night at Port City Raceway in Oklahoma for the Town Showdown. It will be the first trip to Port City for the series. The entry list right now sits at 40 cars and includes all the top guys: Tanner Thorson, Tyler Courtney, Chris Windham, Buddy Kofoid, Thomas Meserol. All the guys are on the list. The series hasn't raced since March 7th at the Shamrock Classic. Tanner Thorson won that night and has won 2 of the first 3 events on the schedule this season. Chris Windham currently has a 6-point lead in the standings over Tyler Courtney. Kevin Thomas Jr. is 3rd, Buddy Kofoid 4th, and Tanner Thorson is 5th. Limited tickets are available for the event, but if you can't be there, you can tune in live on Flow Racing. Important to remember for Thorson here, he's won the first 2 of 3 events in that series, and I would imagine probably be leading the points no problem had he not had the engine expire on the second night down there in Florida to start the year. He has that engine go bad, so he ends up with that bad finish. But if he even finishes his top 5 on that night, he's definitely right up there in the points. So he's been really hot this season. We'll see if that can continue this weekend at the Town Showdown at Port City. Dates have been announced for the 36th running of the Tulsa Shootout, the big micro sprint event at the River Spirit Expo Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Racing will begin on Wednesday, December 30th and run through Saturday, January 2nd. This year's version will actually add another day of racing to the event without actually adding a day to the overall event. There's some days built in the beginning for parking and things like that. So the Tulsa Shootout precedes the Chili Bowl Nationals and usually attracts somewhere like 12 to 1,300 micro sprints from around the country. Classes running include A-Class wing, non-wing, and restricted, plus Outlaw wing and non-wing and junior sprints. There could possibly be other divisions announced at a later date. Early entries for competitors start September 22nd. If you would like more information, you can visit tulsashootout.com. If you're looking for something to read today, there is a new checkered pass from Kevin Eckert over at worldofoutlaws.com. This one is all about the state of Missouri, kind of racetracks, races, drivers, all things kind of Missouri-centric. This is the 19th piece actually from Eckert in this series, all of which are longer form stories, kind of giving context to current events by talking about things that have happened in series history for the World of Outlaws. I'm always going to kind of point stories out like this. The world we kind of live in right now is this short piece, clickbait, just get the information out as quick as possible type, of world. To me, these longer form pieces really stand out. And, I've mentioned the pieces before from Kevin Kovac. And I think that it's important for there to be pieces like this, and this is kind of a dying a dying medium almost of these longer form pieces of journalism, and kind of taking a look at things in a much larger perspective, and understanding kind of where things lie in the course of history even. And so I'm going to continue to point these out. If you want to check them out, you can obviously find them at worldofoutlaws.com. And check out the whole series. There's all kinds of great stuff in there, from the last year and a half that he's been posting these. So pretty neat stuff from Kevin Eckert. Definitely recommend checking those out if you haven't up to this point, because they are great pieces. And also check out the stuff that Kevin Kovac does, because 2, 3, 4 guys tops maybe do stuff like this in dirt racing. There's just not a lot of it out there. So that's the show for today. A lot of racing again tonight. Lucas back in action. You can check that out on the Facebook page and at Lucas Oil Racing TV, like I mentioned earlier. We'll continue to talk about that racing. We'll recap tonight's action on tomorrow's show, and again we'll recap tomorrow's show, tomorrow's racing action on Friday's show. So lots of stuff still to talk about. We'll get you updated and preview for the weekend of the World of Outlaws races, both sprint cars and late models, and get you an idea of what else there is to watch this weekend. So stay tuned to the show for the remainder of the week. You can find Dirt Tracker Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review. You can also watch the show every day on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com. You can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and don't forget to sign up for the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter on the site. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow on Dirt Tracker Daily.